welcome to episode 130 of your CySA Plus Prepcast. In this episode, we focus on how cybersecurity teams measure success and identify opportunities for improvement using incident response, key performance indicators, and metrics. These data-driven tools help organizations assess how well their response efforts are functioning, identify bottlenecks in detection or containment, and justify investments in people, tools, and processes. Without clearly defined performance metrics, incident response becomes reactive and subjective. With them, it becomes measurable, repeatable, and constantly evolving. By tracking key indicators like detection speed, containment time, resource usage, and communication quality, cybersecurity professionals can continuously strengthen their readiness and operational effectiveness. These concepts are not only essential for passing the CySA Plus exam, but they also form the foundation of mature cybersecurity operations in the real world. A cornerstone metric in incident response is mean time to detect. This measures the average time between the moment an incident begins and the point at which the organization becomes aware of it. This gap can vary depending on monitoring capabilities, analyst alertness, and the sophistication of the attacker. A lower mean time to detect usually means that the organization is successfully identifying threats early, limiting their opportunity to cause damage. A high detection time, however, may signal blind spots in visibility, over-reliance on manual analysis, or ineffective logging and alerting practices. Equally important is mean time to respond. This metric captures the time between when a threat is detected and when the first concrete containment step is taken. That step might be network isolation, user account deactivation, system lockdown, or communication escalation. It shows how quickly the organization can shift from awareness into action. A short response time often reflects good training, well-documented procedures, and empowered staff. Conversely, slow response times may indicate confusion, lack of authority, or unclear roles during the early stages of incident handling. Mean time to contain takes the response measurement a step further. It measures the duration between detection and the point at which the threat is successfully stopped from spreading or escalating. Containment might include isolating infected systems, cutting off attacker communication channels, or halting malicious code execution. Tracking containment time is essential because it directly influences the overall damage caused by an incident. Containment delays can allow attackers to move laterally, access more data, or entrench their position in the network. Following containment, mean time to eradicate becomes the next critical metric. This measures the time required to completely eliminate the threat from the environment. It includes steps such as malware removal, account resets, patch deployment, and thorough system inspections. Eradication time reflects both the thoroughness and speed of remediation efforts. If this phase is rushed or skipped, remnants of the threat may remain and lead to future reinfection or compromise. A well-managed eradication phase strikes a balance between urgency and precision. Mean time to recover measures how long it takes to return systems and operations to their normal state. This may include restoring services, verifying data integrity, reinstalling software, and reauthorizing system access. A strong recovery process is not just about bringing systems back online, but ensuring that they are stable, secure, and ready for business operations. Tracking recovery time helps identify weaknesses in disaster recovery plans, restoration procedures, or infrastructure resilience. In addition to these time-based metrics, alert volume is a key performance area to monitor. This metric tracks how many alerts are generated within a given time period. A spike in alert volume may indicate an actual surge in malicious activity, or it may suggest poorly tuned detection systems that are generating excessive false positives. High alert volumes can overwhelm analysts, increase fatigue, and lead to slower incident triage. Understanding this metric helps organizations calibrate their alerting rules and allocate resources more efficiently. False negative and false negative rates offer further insight into the accuracy of detection systems. A false positive is a benign event misidentified as malicious. A false negative is a real threat that went undetected. Both have serious consequences. Too many false positives waste analyst time and create distrust in alerts. Too many false negatives mean that actual threats are slipping through. These metrics help improve threat detection accuracy by supporting better tool tuning, rule writing, and signature development. Incident recurrence is another critical area of measurement. Recurrence metrics identify how often similar incidents happen over time, even after remediation efforts. Recurring ransomware infections, repeated phishing incidents, or recurring configuration errors suggest systemic problems. Recurrence tracking forces organizations to evaluate whether they are addressing root causes or merely treating symptoms. If recurrence is high, post-incident reviews and corrective actions may need to be reevaluated for effectiveness. Impact severity metrics assess how damaging an incident was. This might include operational downtime, financial loss, data exfiltration, customer churn, or regulatory violation. Measuring impact severity not only helps with prioritization, but also supports communication with executives and external stakeholders. It provides a clear picture of what is at stake and how much risk the organization faces. Over time, tracking the severity of incidents also shows whether overall risk exposure is increasing, decreasing, or remaining constant. Finally, incident origin metrics categorize where incidents come from. Are threats primarily internal, such as accidental insider error or intentional misuse? Are they external, such as phishing, malware, or DDoS attacks? Do they originate from third-party vendors, unmanaged devices, or supply chain dependencies? By categorizing incidents by origins, organizations can better focus defensive strategies, training efforts, and policy development in the right areas. It also helps assess the effectiveness of security controls placed at organizational boundaries. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Incident response resource utilization metrics provide insight into how effectively an organization uses its tools, personnel, and time during a cybersecurity event. These metrics track analyst hours spent on detection, investigation, and remediation tasks, as well as tool usage rates and system capacity. By analyzing this data, teams can identify whether resources are overextended, underutilized, or misallocated. If certain tasks take up disproportionate amounts of time or certain systems are repeatedly bottlenecked during response, these metrics provide the data needed to adjust staffing levels, automate repetitive tasks, or reallocate tools for better efficiency. Compliance adherence metrics help ensure that the organization remains within the boundaries of its regulatory and policy obligations during an incident. These indicators track whether breach notifications were issued on time, whether audit logs were maintained, and whether required documentation was created and preserved. By monitoring compliance metrics, teams can identify where processes may be falling short and take action to improve them before facing an audit or investigation. These metrics are also useful for demonstrating due diligence to regulators and stakeholders. Analyst workload metrics are essential for workforce management and burnout prevention. These KPIs monitor how many incidents individual analysts or teams are handling, how much time is spent per incident, and what proportion of tasks involve manual versus automated steps. High workloads without adequate support can lead to delays, mistakes, and diminished incident response quality. Analyzing workload data helps leadership make informed decisions about hiring, training, and tool investment to support long-term operational health. Stakeholder communication effectiveness is another critical metric category. These indicators track how well information was shared with internal teams, leadership, external regulators, customers, and partners during an incident. Metrics might include response time to inquiries, message consistency across platforms, and recipient satisfaction ratings. If communication is delayed, unclear, or inconsistent, these metrics help identify the root cause and inform improvements in templates, workflows, or escalation procedures. Incident escalation effectiveness metrics track how quickly and accurately incidents are elevated to appropriate internal or external authorities. Delays in escalation can result in wider damage, missed compliance deadlines, or ineffective remediation. These metrics help identify whether incidents are being appropriately classified, whether escalation paths are clearly defined, and whether personnel are empowered to take action when severity increases. Monitoring escalation effectiveness supports clearer response coordination and better incident containment. Trend analysis KPIs monitor changes in the types and frequency of incidents over time. These metrics track patterns in attacker tactics, techniques, and procedures. They may reveal an uptick in phishing attacks, an increase in insider threats, or a shift in the systems being targeted. By analyzing these trends, organizations can proactively adjust their security controls, awareness training, and monitoring tools to stay ahead of evolving threats. Trend metrics also help validate the effectiveness of long-term security strategies. Implementation success metrics assess how well lessons learned from past incidents are applied. These indicators track whether recommendations from post-mortem reviews are followed, whether corrective actions were completed, and whether new controls are functioning as intended. Organizations that consistently follow through on improvement plans build a stronger incident response capability over time. Tracking implementation success helps leadership hold teams accountable and ensures that resources are used effectively. Business continuity and operational impact metrics quantify how incidents affect the broader organization. These might include metrics on downtime duration, number of users affected, revenue impact, or delayed service delivery. These metrics connect cybersecurity to real-world outcomes, helping non-technical stakeholders understand why incident response investment matters. They also support discussions around backup infrastructure, system redundancies, and recovery procedures. Security awareness and training effectiveness is another area where metrics play a key role. These indicators track how users respond to simulated phishing attacks, how quickly they report suspicious activity, and how they behave during actual incidents. Measuring improvements in user behavior over time shows whether training programs are working and highlights where refresher training or revised content is needed. Awareness metrics also help identify departments or roles with elevated risk levels. Finally, comprehensive dashboards bring all of these KPIs together in a centralized, visual format. Dashboards provide real-time performance overviews for executives, managers, and analysts. They highlight areas that require immediate attention and help prioritize resources. Dashboards can be tailored to display metrics relevant to different audiences: technical detail for analysts, operational summaries for managers, and risk trends for executives. Well-designed dashboards turn complex data into actionable insights that drive smarter decisions. To summarize episode 130, incident response metrics and KPIs transform reactive security operations into mature, strategic programs. They provide measurable indicators of speed, accuracy, effectiveness, and resilience. From detection time to recovery success, each metric offers a different lens through which to evaluate and improve response capabilities. By consistently collecting and reviewing these metrics, cybersecurity teams not only enhance their day-to-day performance, but also build a more agile, informed, and trustworthy incident response function. Metrics matter because what gets measured gets improved. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.